From first hunts to lifelong traditions, we're here to honor the heritage, hear the passion, and connect through the stories that make us all hunters. Grab your gear, find your stand, and listen in as we share another journey that shapes a hunter's legacy. This episode is brought to you by Logic Hunt, an app designed for the future of hunting, helping you prepare with purpose and pursue with precision. We got a new state. We're trying to rack up 50 states, and we're adding a new one. We got our first Tennessean. Is that what they call you down there, Tennessean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, have you always been in Tennessee?
No, actually, I'm originally from Georgia.
Originally from Georgia. What took you up to Tennessee?
A woman.
A woman. Normally, it's the other way around, man.
No, a woman. Yeah.
Deer hunt's probably a little bit better in Tennessee anyways.
I urban hunt, so I find spots very similar to Georgia. Tennessee's more expensive to hunt than Georgia, but it's all right.
Well, we'll get into that. So, who do we have here? We got Chris Cannon. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, more so on the personal side, Chris, if that'd be all right. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm Chris, Tennessee, originally Georgia. Like I said, I've lived here almost 8 years now. Got a 5-month-old little daughter, so life is changing. This is going to be my first deer season with a baby girl. Got a hunting YouTube channel that I do. I do a lot of social media stuff, so maybe some people have seen me, maybe some people haven't. It's doing pretty good. Other than that, I like to hunt and fish and love every day.
Full-time job?
I do a lot more in the hunting industry as far as filming. I create commercials and stuff for a lot of more of the mom and pop, small businesses in the hunting industry, small broadhead companies, camo companies, so on and so forth. So, and that's kind of opened doors for us as well through different avenues. It's helped us grow.
To expand on that a little bit, how'd you get started into, we'll call it hunting media? We'll get into your YouTube channel here in a little bit, but I want to hear about some of the work that you're doing for others.
Originally, it started with the YouTube channel. Kind of the reason that ended up starting was I was deer hunting one time and I had a beautiful red fox come walk out. And it was probably around 20 yards from me. And, like a sun ray was coming through the trees that morning. That fox just walked up there slow as you can be and just sat in front of me. And 20 yards, had no clue I was there. And it was just sunbathing. And it was beautiful, man. I wish I had a camera. I want to start videoing this stuff so somebody can see that, like have that experience, see what I see. So I got that and then talked to family and we just kind of started and grew from there. And then all of our editing and stuff like that is all done by me. And a lot of late nights, man, a lot of training, a lot of just learning everything I can learn about cameras and about media and about video editing and all of this stuff to put together something that people actually enjoy seeing. So that I went through many different trade shows and stuff like that, meeting small companies like JX3 Outdoors, for example. I built a commercial for them that's on the Pursuit channel. I've gotten Fire in the Hole Broadheads, that's another one. And I created these small commercials, and they seemed to be, because they were affordable, a lot of people enjoyed them. So it's just kind of grown since then.
So are these people approaching you, or you just go to them at trade shows, like hand out a business card and all that good stuff?
Mainly it's just been word of mouth. Like Fire in the Hole talks to the owner of Fire in the Hole, talks to somebody else, and that talks to somebody else. And it just, people give me a call. I get out there and start working. I haven't really advertised much for it.
We'll get to the YouTube channel here in a bit, but what do you run for equipment?
I run right now, my main camera, and it's something that I just really enjoy. A lot of people have these really expensive cameras. I can do a lot of good stuff on a Canon R7. Great camera. It's smaller. It's more compact. Fits into my hunting bag real easy. Yeah, I mean, that's really pretty much all I use is my Canon. Of course, mics, Rode mics, all of that stuff. Audio's really important. And then just my desktop computer. And I've got 3 different video editors. I've got everything from Adobe Premiere Pro to Filmora to DaVinci Resolve. I use all of it. And like I said, it's just all self-taught and what I could learn on YouTube University.
Yeah, I'm looking up that EOS R7. I thought it was similar to what I had. I have the Sony ZV-E10. It's about $900. Yours is definitely a little bit nicer. But tell me, just because I'm curious about this
Oh, you're fine.
camera. So what do you have for lenses? Like And this is good information for our listeners too. Lenses, and one thing that would bother me about having a DSLR in the tree stand is some have like the lens zoom where you can use a little remote, but most don't. So how do you handle the zoom, the focus, and all that stuff when you're out hunting?
So the Canon R7 is actually mirrorless, not DSLR.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. One of the cool things about that camera is it's automatic. It has an automatic setting, and its automatic feature video so well that even a beginner could use it. It's just an all around great camera. The lens that you get, there is a lens that is an 18 to 135 millimeter. It's a kit lens, but honestly, it does great work and is especially good for bow hunting because you don't have to zoom super far out there. It does really good video, all the way out to probably 30 yards. It does pretty good. And then, if you're self filming, that's what I do a lot of. I live so far away from my crew. I do a lot of self filming. Turning that camera around facing me, the 18 millimeter to 135 does great. So, and they have a kit that you could actually buy that comes the camera plus the lens, and it does good for. I mean, like I said, I even use it to the professional field, and it still does great.
So you said it has some automatic video features. Is that just for focus, or can
No,
you zoom with
it
that?
has autofocus and it has automatic like coloration, ISO, all of that stuff, the regular auto. You're more experienced video. A lot of times I'll use manual, but just for going, let's say somebody's they want to buy a camera that comes out and it just looks really good. The Canon R7 does really good straight out the box with the automatic settings. It does really good. It's probably one of the better I've seen, other than the Canon R6, but good lord, not everybody's got that kind of money.
You'd think the higher number would be more expensive, but it's not.
The Canon R6 is a full frame camera where mine is kind of a crop, but it's not much of a crop. I wouldn't necessarily call it a crop sensor, but there's a small crop compared to the R6. And the R6 is, I think, like $3,000 new. So it's a pretty expensive camera.
What about zooming in on like a deer? Do you have to have your hand on the lens, or is it
Yeah,
got a push button?
just camera on the lens. It's really quick. When deer's coming in, zoom, you can do it one handed. Just spin that lens and get it where you want it, and you're good to go. I mean, I self film it, and I self film while bow hunting.
So the kit lens that I have with my Sony, it's got like electric zoom or whatever built in the lens, so I could have a Bluetooth camera, but I don't think the lens is that great.
Right.
Might have to look into.
The Canon R7, like I said, it's a really good camera for especially what we're trying to do with it. The quality is beautiful. It's really simple to use. If you don't know that much about cameras, it's really simple to use. And once you get into high depth and know a lot of more about it, the manual features are just easy to use. Everything's, real quick and adaptable. So I really enjoy it.
What's the difference between a DSLR and mirrorless?
It Exactly what the mirrorless says. It doesn't have that. The DSLR has a mirror inside that is their shutter. The mirrorless does not have that mirror. It's faster shutter speeds.
Okay, that's what it is. So when you started your YouTube channel, did you go out and buy a camera, or did you just upgrade over time?
When I first started out, I had got the Sony AX53 Sony Handycam AX53, which is about an $800 camera. And it was really good. Some of our guys still use the Sony Handycams because they don't want to deal with the whole mirrorless aspect or DSLR, either one. The Sony Handycam is really easy to use. It packs. They don't have to carry lenses. They don't have to carry anything else, and they can just, open it up. They're kind of a little bit more old school. It is a video camera. The AX53 is really good from Sony, and then they have, they kind of go up from there, AX100, so on and so forth. But I mean, heck, for an $800 camera, it does great.
Once I started my hunting app and the podcast, I had a podcast before this that we dumped because I wasn't gaining any traction. After like 3 months, looking back now, like I'm 3 months into this new podcast. Like, man, if we would have kept that old podcast, it'd probably be up and running by now. But it was just the same three people kind of talking, trying to give hunting
Gotcha.
advice. And so we're trying to be new. And that's when I started looking into the cameras.
Right.
And even the people I hired to do my like promo video for the app, all
Mhm.
their video was on DSLR, or it could have been mirrorless. Back in the day, you used to think those were just for pictures, but they actually probably do better video, don't they? than a camcorder.
A lot of the newer ones, yes, definitely. A lot of the newer ones have just remarkable. I mean, Canon and Sony both, in my book, are the best two as far as in that realm. I mean, you could always go red, and there's so many other options. There's so many camera options, period. Finding the best one is almost impossible. I feel like cameras is also like cars. Everybody's got a personal preference. Everybody's is the best. So I mean, it's kind of like bows as well. Everybody's got a personal preference, and everybody's is the best. It's just kind of what do you like, and what's your budget, and there's good cameras for every budget. So it's kind of, but I will say that the market is starting, from what I've seen, starting to, well, has been trending towards mirrorless cameras for a while now, because the newer style, they're slimmer, they're sleeker, they do everything a DSLR will do and faster. Everybody seems to really start gravitating towards those mirrorless cameras.
Well, even anybody that records video for podcasts, the people that do podcasts in studios and have those really crisp videos, those are all they could be mirrorless or DSLR
Yeah, they just hook them up to their.
instead of camcorders. It's kind of mind-boggling. The podcast that dropped Monday, my buddy has a podcast in farming. It's big. They get 30,000 whatever per episode, and I went and recorded that in his studio, and I think I took 32 gigabyte SD cards, and we were 3/4 way through film, and he's like, "I think these are dead or full." It's the 4K video, it's almost too much.
Yeah,
It's hard to handle on in terms of editing, just, like, getting it off the SD card takes forever. Loading it in the software takes forever. Some software don't take that much video.
right. Yeah, you really need, when it comes to SD cards, good lord, man. You need a high writing speed for 4K. You need high memory for 4K, because if not, you're just gonna fill those jokers up. I mean, I use a 200 megabyte SD card with with a minimum 200 megabytes per second writing speeds. I mean, but they're the better
200
the
200
better the camera.
gigabyte, right?
Well, yeah,
I
gigabyte
think you
cameras. What'd I say, megabyte?
that'd give
My
you
bad.
probably wouldn't even give
Megabyte.
you a 30-second TikTok.
Right, yeah. Zip, you're done. Yeah, no, gigabytes, sorry. But, yeah, I mean, they will fill up 4K video, and now they got cameras coming out with 8K. When are we gonna stop?
Even the trend on TikToks, for example, I've heard if you're posting, like, the little TikToks on Instagram or Meta, I've heard they'll even dock 4K ones because people wanna see the ones that are not professional.
I've kinda learned that my own way. We're on TikTok as well, and I would take the drone out, get this really awesome shot, and make this whole edit on my computer, and it would look awesome, and it'd sound awesome, and then I'll take my cell phone out and record a sunset, and it gets 100,000 views. It's just kind of, it's random, and it's weird, and it just, people like to see, I guess, the more authentic than edited. Yeah.
Good way to put it. So, like, this webcam's supposed to be 4K. When comparing your 4K camera to my 4K webcam, there's obviously a big difference in quality.
Yeah, I mean, heck, our cell phones, man, do great. I mean, I don't know what I look like on your end, but this is just my cell phone here. So, and I'm looking at my picture down here, and I'm like, man, it's pretty clear. It looks good.
I'm
So,
not gonna lie, you look pretty rough on my end, but
is it looking rough? Okay,
so this software records locally and then transfers to the cloud, so I don't get to see the full image until I go to edit. But
gotcha. Okay,
I could talk about this for a long time, but I wanna give you some time to talk about your YouTube channel. So, what year did you get started on your YouTube channel?
2018 got started on the hunting show, hunting YouTube channel. Like I said, it just started because of that one hunt, seeing that all of the guys that I wanted to be on the channel were family, so that we could create, if it never grew into anything, we would at least have memories. So I put it, we just kind of started it, and I took the time and learned as we've went on video editing, and I still learn. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do, and so many different, perspective. I wanted the channel to be able to reach multiple age group, from 17, 18-year-old teenagers to 60 plus members. We have members on our team that range from 18 to, well, I think he's 56. All of us are family. We all hunt North Georgia mountains to Tennessee to Illinois to Missouri, you name it. We go out and hunt. We do hunt a lot of urban. I tell people we've been urban hunting since before Lee Ellis was a thing. In the same area that Lee Ellis is, my Uncle Jimbo. My Uncle Jimbo was actually, he shot 2 open young deer in the same hunt in city limits within, I think, 30 minutes of each other, and
Really?
on camera, on VHS camera. That's how long we've been doing this urban hunting stuff. So I grew up doing it, and it's just kind of gotten more popular now because Lee Ellis would seek one he started showing these giant bucks, and this was before Southern Bones was ever a thing, but it became popular. So we just kind of went off of that too, because that's what we do. I mean, but we also will hunt from urban to public, so from knock door permission to someone's backyard to 1,000 acres on a public land in Illinois. It's just what we do.
Yep. So you started 6, 7 years ago, 7 years ago. How long did it take you to start getting traction on your YouTube channel?
Jeez. Honestly,
Because I'm 3 months into this podcast, and I think I'm up to 30 subscribers. I need 20 more before I can go live.
okay. Yeah, it took 3 years before we even broke 100.
Really?
Well, I wouldn't say nah, that's not true. It was probably a year and a half we broke 100, but getting from 100 to 500 seemed like it took a lifetime. Like, it was just nothing I was doing was working, and then we really got into the TikTok side more. So, I posted a video a couple years ago of me lighting our S logo. I lit it on fire. I made it out of gunpowder and lit it on fire, and it got like 200 and something thousand views, and then all of a sudden, our YouTube just started growing, and it didn't really stop there, and we got up to, I think we were at like 3,200 subscribers on YouTube, and then it dropped back down. YouTube does uh, I think they do it every 6 years. I don't know how their whole rhyme or reason, but they actually go through and they start eliminating old accounts, like people like unactive accounts and stuff like that. So if somebody was on, say you had a YouTube channel and then you go away and you don't mess with it, they delete it after a certain period of time. So some of our views drop back down, and we lost probably 100 subscribers randomly, and we've made our way back up. It was annoying, but it is what it is. It's like, I'm looking at stuff going, what the heck happened?
So how many videos do you post?
We have got, I mean, on YouTube, we've only got like 110. I'm starting to get into the YouTube shorts. I've always tried to stay away from those because I've heard they can kill your channel. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but because I see a lot of people's channel blowing up over YouTube shorts, which is just like is equal as TikTok's. So, and I think that was really YouTube's way to kind of battle TikTok. But I mean, we post them and they do pretty decent. So they're not huge, but they're not horrible either. So we're starting to play with these AI deer. I don't know if you've seen the AI Bigfoot videos. I started making some AI whitetail videos that are kind of funny. So, just kind of thinking what you would think a deer would think is just pretty much what I did. And they're doing really good on TikTok. So people are really loving them.
To start finding more ways to get stuff on TikTok other than just podcast clips from like these or whatever.
Make you
But
those AI things. I do it with AI Gemini, and it's pretty fun. You're gonna have to work with it and learn your prompts, but once you figure it out and you can get it doing what you want it to do, I think they do really good. And as long as you can make them funny, even
oh, I have
halfway
a
funny,
oh yeah,
they do good.
you got and it's the biggest things I've noticed with specifically TikTok is anything controversy just gets ate up on TikTok.
Matter of fact, one of the companies that I mentioned, firing the whole broadheads, we made a video and posted it on Facebook Reels. It got like 200 and something thousand views. And there was a whole bunch of hate comments. They were like, "Oh my god, that thing doesn't fly." Like, "You guys shot a fawn," and all this other stuff, and that wasn't like my cousin made this video while he was in the stand, and he's using little clips that he had on his phone to make it, and people saw a fawn in the video and then saw a dead deer, and they were like, "Oh, you shot a fawn," and it's just like, "No, you moron, like, we didn't shoot a fawn. We just happened to video a fawn." And people just take everything they see like that's exactly the way it happened. There was no editing involved in this video clip. That company owner said that that one video sold him out that deer season. It was like, yeah, you saw 200,000 views, 1,000 comments. Not all of those were happy comments, but out of those 1,000, you know, how many people that didn't comment that just went and bought, out of
Exactly.
200 something thousand. So it's like, deal with the hate. Haters are going to hate. They hate us because they ain't us. And just move on. Like, I kind of learned to embrace the hate. Like, come on, give it to me. And I'll just sit there, and what these guys don't understand is as they're sitting there hating on your stuff, I'm sitting there texting back like, the more you're interacting with me, the more I'm interacting with you, the more you're driving this video to show more people. So just keep it coming, big dog. Like, you're not hurting my feelings any.
Hell yeah. And then once they start interacting, that's when it drives the non-followers.
I tell you what, man, have somebody say something on a podcast and share it. And if you want me to, I'll do it for you. I'll literally just say something that is controversial in the hunting industry. You post that video and it'll go viral. Like, it's just the way it is, man. You get somebody that says something someone else doesn't agree with, and then boom, like, you instantly go TikTok famous. And
Yeah,
I
on
think
TikTok.
Facebook's the same way. I mean, that video, like I said, that one video, it had a bunch of hate, but it had a bunch of people that loved it too. So it's kind of double-edged sword.
But how many followers did they have? Well, the algorithms are changing so quick. Like, videos I get 25,000 views and 100 followers on TikTok might get 30 views on Instagram. But my most successful ones are the ones saying that they'd rather eat ground deer than ground beef, and people just so, yeah, you got 27,000 on Facebook, whereas I only have 450. I think on Meta now, you drive non-follower views by having followers interact with your posts, whereas TikTok, if non-followers interact, more non-followers will see it.
It did nothing on TikTok. It did nothing on YouTube. It did nothing on Instagram. We posted a video up of my uncle trying to get into an eye wound suit in Missouri, and he's in the stand and he's getting trapped. Like, he's trying to get this thing on and he's getting trapped. An eye wound suit. Have you not ever seen an eye wound suit? It's a full body. It's like almost like a sleeping bag, but it has arms. So imagine like a sleeping bag made love to a Snuggie.
I've seen the heater bodysuit.
So this is called eye wound, and they're full camo. But like I said, you have the freedom of your arms. You can stand up in it, but the feet look like a sleeping bag. Well, he's trying to get in to the bottom side of his eye wound suit, and he's getting kind of trapped. He's sitting down in a tree stand. He's trying to do this minimal movement. Well, my cousin Kai, who is his son, is videoing him, but this one video hits 18 million views on Facebook. It's been seen all the way around the world. We were getting comments from so many different countries, from Vietnam to, you name it, Japan, like all kinds of comments. And I'm just like, what is important in this video that is driving it so much? But people were getting their own kind of perspectives. Like, I thought it was an alien. I thought it was a butterfly. I'm like sitting there like, how did you get that from that? This video drives us 20,000 followers. I mean, it was one video, just so many people started climbing on. And then we turned around a year later, posted a video of a young boy who shot his first buck deer with his dad. And I think it got 12 million views. So, well, we got a few. They weren't hating on They were hating on the boy because he was crying and he was upset. A lot of hateful comments towards him, which was kind of wild. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing from grown men too, man. It was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, some hateful, and then some people, a lot of support. A lot of people were like, that man, he's going to be hooked for life. That's awesome to see. Look at that emotion. if you ever lose that emotion, quit doing it, all of that stuff, it was really good to see. So a lot of support from the hunting industry, but then you had a lot, or from the hunting community, but you had a lot of hate coming from others. Just, I don't even know if they hunt or whatever, but they were just very rude. So, and
Drives
we try to
traffic,
hide
man.
that stuff out, but especially on his video, we try to. On my stuff, I don't really care. They can hate if they want to.
Yeah, social media, I haven't quite got it figured out yet. There's definitely some tricks to it that I have not figured out yet.
It's a learning curve, and once you get it figured out, I don't know, you might not be interested.
So, how long have you been hunting? You started YouTube in 2018.
I've been hunting since I was 3 years old. My dad has stories where he was, back in the day, we didn't do things as safe as we do now. My dad was telling me a story where he pulled me up a tree with a rope tied around under my armpits.
Didn't even throw you in a basket?
Didn't even throw me on a basket, just pulled me up with a rope, had me sit on the edge of his stand while he held the rope with his foot.
He must have been a big hunter then?
Oh, yeah, my whole family's big hunters. Between my dad and my Uncle Jimbo, they've been my main driving source of what got me into hunting and loving it as much as I do. Jimmy got me into the archery side of the outdoors, and I started shooting a bow when I was around 12 years old, and I kind of abandoned that for a long time and then got back into it when I was probably 21. I got back into archery, and then eventually made the decision to switch to archery only. I used to just use archery as a way to hunt early, but now I archery hunt all season long, and I have for the past 8 years.
So, your dad took you how old were you when you started hunting? Was that with gun or bow?
It was a bow. Yeah, my first
Oh,
time ever going and sitting I mean, I wasn't completely alone, but I was kind of alone. I was in a blind. My uncle was across the field. I always remember this because he shot the deer that I was going to try to shoot.
like you had this all figured out at 12
Oh,
years
yeah,
old?
like, I had a deer, man. It wasn't even 20 yards. It was like 15 yards from me, and he says it was a lot closer to him than it was me, but hey, I'm like, that deer was right there, man. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm getting ready to pull back, but it keeps, like, looking at me, and I'm getting ready to pull back, and I'm looking in this chair like, "How am I gonna turn myself to get it pulled back in this ground blind that I've never hunted out of?" And I'm, like, trying to figure this out, and all of a sudden, you just hear, and that deer gets hit.
So
But I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, "Dude."
so was he in a tree stand and you in a blind or what?
Yeah, he was in a tree stand on the edge of the wood line, and I was in a blind out I was out more in the field from him.
This this guy's a prick. He didn't trust your shooting or something.
No, he wanted that deer.
What are the chances you would have hit it though at 12?
I probably coulda hit it. I might not have killed it.
There you
The
go.
big difference there, you know what I'm saying? I think more of in his looking back now, it's probably more of on him is just having me out there and experiencing it.
Oh, 100%. So, how long did it take you to actually kill your first deer at the bow?
I was 21.
Took you that well, you said you took some time off.
Right, I didn't start picking a bow back up until I was 21, and when I did, that's when I first harvested. It was that first season. I was using a Matthews XL.
When was it? What year was this?
Oh, man, don't make me add. I'm
I've
36 now, so
Was it an older bow back then?
yeah. Yeah, it was an older bow then. I got it out of a pawn shop.
Since we're on our computer, I gotta look this up. That's one I've never heard of. Was it LX or XL?
It might have been LX.
I was gonna say, okay, that isn't that old. Well, maybe it is, but yeah, it usually takes. I think it took me 4 or 5 years to kill one with a bow.
Yeah.
Do you
Well, I shot the deer and I literally hit it in the rear end.
do you just hit the femoral artery or what?
That's what happened. It died 30 yards from after hitting it, but after I pulled back, waited for it, 30 yards, it dropped. I was like, okay, that's not where I was aiming, but it got
Why
it
can't I
done."
get lucky like that, man? Yeah, I'm looking right now. So that was like 2004. That would have been right before the switchback. Yeah, the first bow I ever bought brand new was Adrenaline, which would be like the year after switchback.
Was that PSE or Matthews? Did Matthews
Matthews.
have? Okay.
That's all
But
I've ever.
PSE had an adrenaline, I think.
Yeah, this was Adrenaline without the A and without the E at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So where were we at? So from your younger years to 21, were you just using a gun or were you kind of getting away from hunting for a little bit?
Just rifle. Yeah. I did most rifle hunting like I said, from probably, yeah, from around 12 to 21, it was all gun hunting.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you kill a
But
lot of big ones with a gun?
not really. I mean, they got bigger. I kind of grew up with learning always try to shoot bigger than what your last one was. So I've kind of, a lot of my younger was doe, getting that experience. And then eventually I moved up to going after mainly bucks.
Yep.
But I enjoy that more with archery equipment than with a gun. With a gun, I'd harvest a bag limit in Georgia, which is 12 in a season. And it's just kind of like, it's almost gotten too easy.
Really?
You know, the challenge of trying to tag out with a bow and arrow is a lot more challenging. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to go right to be able to harvest with a bow. So that challenge is just kind of what I live for.
It's definitely a lot tougher for sure. There's a lot more that can go wrong, isn't there? Seems
Yes.
like every year I mess up about 3 times.
Yeah. Well, I had a horrible year before last that I'll never forget.
What happened?
I shot 3 target bucks and couldn't find them.
All 3?
Yep. I had a list of 4 that year that I was gonna go after, 2 here in Tennessee and 2 in Georgia, and I shot 3 of those 4 and could not find them at all.
Really?
And then one just disappeared on me, but one of the ones I shot, and if you actually look on the channel, you'll actually see that deer from victory to heartbreak, or from heartbreak to victory. That episode, Iron Giant, I had already shot him a month ahead of time, couldn't find him, tracking dogs, ended up using a drone, found him within 7 minutes after using a drone, but found he was still alive, which was unbelievable because literally the shot placement was right where it needed to be. No clue what happened. Had a good blood trail and all of that stuff. And then after finding him with a drone, seeing he still lived, I didn't even hunt that spot for an entire month. And then all of a sudden, he showed back up on trail camera one evening. I went the next day and he stepped out on the same trail that I had shot him 1 month to the day earlier. And I got him. He didn't go 20 yards.
Was he the biggest one of the 3 or what?
No, he was not. He was actually the smallest one of the 3. There was another big deer that had showed up during the rut that I kind of felt was still in the area. A friend of mine who lives relatively close said that was driving down the road and saw that deer cross the road. He wasn't showing up on camera, but he was still in the area. I was I'm going to go out here, and if Iron Giant shows back up, that's great. But if this other deer comes in, come on. So, but man, I never felt emotion. I feel the emotion in the woods, but I've never felt the emotion after finally being able to complete that story after what I'd been through with that deer. So he's not my biggest, but I'll always remember that deer.
Did the other 2, did they ever show back up?
No, I have not
Really?
seen those deer. I have not, nothing. I have heard that potentially a different hunter shot one of them. The other one, I have no clue. I played the video back so many times. I was aiming for a certain area and I didn't hit that area. Deer ran off. My arrow came out. One of the second deer I'd shot, I shot these both at the same hunt. The arrow didn't even penetrate. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. I hit him right where I was supposed to on that one. I was shooting for that company, fire in the hole. It was completely my fault. I didn't put the rubber band on right on the broadhead. I didn't put the rubber band on properly. When I shot, the broadhead opened before it impacted. And if you ever look at a fire in the hole broadhead, it looks like you're throwing a pair of slightly open scissors. There's 2 blades. There is no point. There's just 2 blades. And as those blades enter, they open to a 4-inch cut, biggest cut on the market. As they entered, they opened before it hit, but it was like right before it hit. So it flew fine, but where it hit, it's like hitting something with a piece of wood. It just chopped. Arrow flipped over the deer's back and the deer was fine. The first one, I definitely thought that I would have gotten, and I found a decent blood trail tracked with a dog, never could find it. So it sucks.
Was
It
this
happens.
before drones or what?
No, this was actually, well, I mean, it wasn't before drones, but it was before I knew of a drone service.
Yeah, those have really picked up steam the past couple of years.
They're expensive. I've thought about buying one, but they're expensive. They're,
For tracking deer or what?
yeah, for tracking deer. To get thermal drones, I mean, DJI makes a really good one. The DJI thermal drones, they are ridiculously expensive, more than what I'm willing to spend. I think the gentleman said that it was around 30,000 for the one he used. And I'm like,
That is outrageous.
that's just too much for me.
That's an investment I wouldn't wanna get in because I don't think it's gonna be legal that much longer.
Yeah, I mean, certain states are banning them, but then I believe I don't know, I think it could. It's fast, man. It is fast. Took when I was looking for Iron Giant, I took 2 dogs. Neither one of them could stay on a decent trail. The drone found it in 7 minutes.
Really? That's what's gonna be the holdup on these drones is situations like that. Not saying you went after this deer when he's still alive, but a lot of people probably are to put the final
Oh, yeah.
shot on.
Yeah.
Or how do you limit what they're doing? If like the deer herd health analysis with drones is great, you can't do that during deer season. It might be legal, but you can't say that doesn't give you an extreme advantage having a drone above your timber during.
Yeah. During season, that's definitely I mean, because they can do you can definitely be able to see very easily how many deer your property has on it. I am seeing a lot of research being done with those drones that are, I think, beneficial. Collared deer researchers have collared deer and stuff, and now they're starting to look into a little bit more of the drone process because they can get out there and watch them for hours and just see and put that data together of what these deer are actually doing. Matter of fact, I saw a really interesting video on YouTube the other day of some gentleman that flew a drone for the entire deer season instead of hunting. And he was just doing some deer research and he found some really cool stuff.
Yeah, that kid out of Missouri. But it's like cell cameras. I think they're way more advantageous to a hunter than a cell camera. Some of this stuff is just almost unfair to the deer herd. I'll piss some people off, and I say, I won't stop using a cellular trail camera, but I would almost be happy when they if they
I would have to disagree on that, but that's just because I enjoy them. I enjoy them.
Oh, I love it, but you can't
I don't
argue
know. I
that
wouldn't
they
know that I don't know if I would be happier, but then in the same sense, it's like, we say that the trail camera makes it easier, but heck, a lot of states are allowing baiting. So it's like I don't really know. I don't really think the hunting industry or the people running the hunting industry, I don't really think that they're more of making it a challenge to hunt deer anymore. Like I think the
see
problem was is that back in the day, we didn't have the technology and these deer herds got so outrageous that any kind of state with a decent sized city has a lot of urban deer, I believe they're pushing for all of that stuff. So like Georgia, for example, we get 12 deer a season and they push hard for urban hunting because of insurance policies. So I think that's and now Tennessee is allowing baiting with a license. That started, I think, this year, and that's because these urban areas where car crashes are happening because of deer herds, I think they're going to push for that. Now, out in your farmlands like Illinois, Kentucky, Ohio, Missouri, all them, Midwest, I believe it's probably if I start seeing cell camera bans, that's probably where I'm going to start seeing them first.
it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use them until they're illegal, but if somebody can get a picture and completely change where they're gonna hunt, when they're gonna hunt, based off a picture they get to their phone, it is an extreme advantage to the hunter over the deer. Like, at least
No,
a regular camera, you can't adjust on the fly when and where you're gonna hunt. So last year, I shot one late muzzleloader. I live 2 hours away from where I hunt. I hunted late muzzleloader a week straight, and I was getting pictures of this deer every day after dark, and he was coming from the opposite side of the road where I can't hunt. I told my boss I wasn't gonna take any more vacation. An hour after I told her that, I got a picture of that buck on my property in the daylight. I told her, "I'm gonna take the afternoon off." He's there, went back and killed him that night.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that I'm just one person. How many people kill a buck like that because of a cellular trail camera?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the cell camera is a huge tool, but I kinda feel like it kinda goes to me into, as this technology is available to us hunters, we implement it. I mean, we do that with our own lot with everything daily. I mean, our vehicles are able to sense other cars. We're gonna use them. We got drones that can pull away from trees automatically. We're gonna use it. Anything that makes your life easier, we're gonna use it.
And that's why people use them. I'm not gonna stop using them if they're legal, but it certainly takes away the whole hunting aspect. Let's say if drones were legal for scouting during deer season, how much of an advantage that would be to a hunter, that it almost gets too easy at some point.
I don't think that part will ever be. I can't speak on that honestly because I don't see that ever becoming legal to do, especially not thermal drones. Because a regular drone, like I use a DJI Mini 3 Pro, it doesn't have infrared. So I can only see what the drone can see, and it's as equal as me walking out there and looking myself. But thermal drones, that's a whole different ball game because I can see what like a normal eye couldn't see. And I don't think that those will ever get legal for scouting purposes.
And people think they can get away with it, and they probably can now, but I guarantee you the DNR can track every single one of those from an iPad.
Oh yeah, I mean, anything that they have to register, like most thermal drones are over that threshold of when you need a pilot license to fly and register it with the, I think it's the FFA. All of those, they know where they're at or they have some idea. I think I can't say that they for sure have that, but I don't know. I think they do. But like a small drone, something like that, I don't really see a purpose. I don't see it's illegal to do or that they would ban that because like I said, I'm able to see the exact same thing I would if I walked out there and see it.
Yep.
Like, I'm not seeing anything different. Just looking at it from the eyes of a tree, and it's saving me an hour walk or going in there and blowing out, you know, potential wildlife by walking through the woods or whatever and tracking that up with scent and all of that stuff. So there's an advantage to it, but it's like I said, that being non-thermal, I would only see that they might continue to be legal, but I just don't see the thermal drones being legal to use for scouting ever. I don't think Illinois allows it.
Tracking deer with a thermal drone is illegal in Iowa, but it's such a great area. It's using technology to put yourself at an advantage over the deer. I bet people could probably technically get ticketed for cell cameras in Iowa because just the way the law is written, where using technology to put yourself at an advantage over deer is how it's written or something like that.
That is a very gray area, and that's kind of also a weird thing because it's like, okay, well, what about a rangefinder? What about,
Mhm.
you know, a range finding bow sight? You know, these are all okay. How about using a bow? Period. That's technology that's an advantage over a deer. The deer ain't got the daggum bow. Some of the laws that I see some states have, I'm like, what in the world are y'all doing? And then you have some states, it's like their laws are like almost non-existent. It's just go get these deer out of here, you know? But it is what it is. I mean, I guess that in their minds, they all have a purpose. Yeah, that's all. I mean, really, when it comes to that stuff, when it comes to laws, that we could talk for days on why certain places have certain things and do certain stuff. You know, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, though.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like I
out of
said,
our control.
yeah, I mean, we can vote on certain things, but who knows if it really changes anything, if that makes sense. You know, it's like Tennessee, I can speak on Tennessee. Their baiting law was one of the wildest things to me. Like, I can hunt over a salt lick, but I can't hunt over a corn pile. And that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me because, from my understanding, is they were so worried about chronic waste disease and EHD and all this other stuff, and they worry about it spreading. And I'm sitting here going, okay, I can hunt over something that a deer has to lick. And when I lick something, I leave saliva versus something it ingests. To me, it just didn't make any sense. I'm just like, I don't know about that one. But then as soon as they saw that, oh, we can make a profit out of it, it's like, wait, now it's legal? And it's like, oh, I can put corn out all year long, but it's got to be up 10 days before deer season. I'm like, so what? Deer season happens, and all of a sudden now you're worried about it spreading chronic waste disease? Like, no, it's you don't want us to hunt over corn. Say that. You know, don't say that it's because of this, because it's not over this. But then all of a sudden, now as long as I pay a $50 license, now it's legal. But it's also every state around Tennessee allows baiting. So I don't really, you know, it is what it is.
If baiting was legal in Iowa, I feel like I'd have to do it. Since it's not, I don't want it here in Iowa.
You guys have a lot more cornfields than we have.
I'm sure that makes a big difference.
It does. We were discussing social media hate earlier. We get hated on for putting a corn pile out and hunting over that corn pile. That's not hunting. And I get it, whatever. But a lot of people don't understand is we hunt a lot of small parcel of land. I'm not hunting, I don't bait on public land, bait in a very small, maybe 2 or 3 acre plot of land. So if the deer are not traveling through here, but yet they're traveling around here, and I couldn't get permission on all of these other places, but I got this one spot, I want those deer to try to come through here at some point. So I put a corn pile out there. And there is no farmland around a lot of the places we hunt. There's nothing like that.
What kind of season do you have during the rut? Is it archery or gun?
Both.
Both.
Yeah. I wish, well, honestly, I really don't have a stance on it. I mean, because I archery hunt the whole way through, so it doesn't really affect me. And then where I hunt urban, it's archery only. So, you know, I don't really have to deal with too many gun hunters, and they don't have to deal with me, so it's a win-win, I guess, in my situation.
Yep.
I could have an opinion on buck limits and all of that stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't really think it's going to change anything. I see on Facebook, I wish Tennessee would go to a 1 buck limit. We'd have bigger deer, or people would think twice about what they harvest. And that's 100% true. If they did that and increased our doe limit, at least for the unit that I'm in, because I get 3 does for the season, maybe that would be beneficial and help. But in the same sense, I don't really know. I'm not going to put an input on that stuff. When it comes to Georgia, like I said, Georgia knows what they're doing. Like, I can kill 10 does and 2 bucks. They're trying to lower numbers, and I know what their purpose is. I get what I get their end result, and I know what they're after. So, but Tennessee's kind of weird, because it's like where I'm at, the deer population is significantly high. But then you go to, and I can only kill 3 does a year, but then you go to Nashville and I can kill 3 does a day.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, every day for the whole season. So it's kind of like, are you telling me that there's more deer there than there are here? Because I could almost beg to differ with you. Like, you can go to my old lady's work right now. Perfect time. Go right now. You'll see. You could probably see anywhere between 200-300 deer that they won't even let me hunt, because it's archaeological district.
So you can kill 3 deer a year. How many bucks?
2 bucks a year. So I get 5 total where I'm at.
Oh, that ain't bad.
No, that's not bad. I mean, honestly, that's more than a freezer full. I guess kind of in my more mature hunting years, I'm more after certain targets, certain deer, and I find that chase, like, if that deer excites me, I don't care what social media says as far as the deer size, but it's what excites me. And even if that deer is just a little bit bigger than the one I got on the wall and it makes me happy, that's what I'm after. And I'll make a YouTube video out of it, and I'll post that joker up and dare anybody to say anything about it, because it's like Ted Nugent says, you don't buy my license and I don't buy yours.
Are there any hunts that stick out that just kinda got you hooked on hunting in general?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, probably my first buck I ever killed in Georgia, that one I think got me. I was with a cousin and we had stayed up. We were so excited. It was my first year ever going gun hunting alone, more adult. I wanted a buck, got a new piece of land to hunt, all of that stuff. We were super excited. We stayed up all night long, went out there super early, way too early. And my cousin was asleep snoring. We're sitting at the bottom of a tree, and this buck comes running through the woods. But it was more of like a trot. And I stood up and I had my grandfather's rifle, and I took like 3 steps just looking through the scope. I got the deer and I shot, dropped him. And when I pulled the gun down, I looked and I just shot through 2 trees like that right there and shot that deer. Like, it was just super tight. And I'm like, how'd that even happen? Like, and that one just got me hooked. Like, I was super pumped over that one. And then
You
it
probably
just
didn't have
kind of
that
drove.
one on film, did you?
No, 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 that was way before filming. That was way before Southern Bones or anything else was even thought of. This was just back when, I wasn't after anything particular. I just wanted a buck, and I was, like I said, that one got me hooked. But then once I went archery only, Iron Giant was probably my favorite hunt. Well, it was my most memorable. I remember all of them, but that one's the one that I guess I got the most emotional over. And I didn't hide any of that from the camera. If you ever watch that episode, you'll see me. I'll cry like a baby up there. But went through a lot that year as far as the ups and downs, the roller coaster of archery hunting. Like, I felt it that year. To get that, and that one will always stick with me. So those are
Oh,
probably those
yeah.
are my 2 most memorable ones.
We've all been there, man. Hunting gets emotional. You put all this time in and the stuff doesn't work out, and it gets to you.
You said
So,
to me at the beginning that I was gonna have to tell you some embarrassing story, and I've been sitting here racking my brain, man, of something embarrassing that happened.
well, it can even be as when you're a kid or anything.
Well, there's always an embarrassing one. Yeah, this one's real bad. All right. I'm in the woods. I was probably 18, 19 years old and forgot the teepee, man.
Oh, boy, here we
Yep.
go.
Yep. Forgot the teepee. And I had ate a honey bun on my way to the woods that morning. And
That's your kryptonite?
that I guess I don't know. I don't know what in the world I was thinking, but yeah, I got out there and in the dark, I grabbed the wrong kind of leaves. Yeah, I had poison ivy on my hands. Bad.
Oh my god.
Poison
That
oak.
sounds
Yep.
awful.
Yeah, it was horrible. Now I make sure there's TP in the bag for sure. Always.
Man, that probably got all the way up your undercarriage, didn't it?
Oh, dude, it was horrible. It was bad.
I don't know what crabs feel like, man,
I
but
don't either, but Jesus, if it's anything like that, man, it sucks, dude. Holy crap.
man, you'd probably just sit with your back on the floor of the shower with your legs straight up like
Yeah,
ice
just
cold water, man.
just spread eagle down there, just be like, oh. Yeah, it was horrible. And the part that was even more embarrassing was the fact that I had to get help to put in the Caliban lotion. People knew about it. It wasn't just like it was a me thing and I just could hide it. It was like, you know, someone else had to know.
You couldn't
So I
reach
was
all the delicate areas.
no,
Man,
I
if
had
that
to
was
help.
me, instead of telling people, I'd grab a paint stick, lather that stuff on the end and
I hear that, but
paintbrush or
no,
something.
I had a little bit of help, and yeah, yeah. So now, like I said, I make sure TP's in the bag at all time. I will say that I also had an experience with what I claim to be an Indian ghost.
Oh
And that's
boy, let's hear it.
all right. This I'm gonna tell you this one, and then I'm gonna have to go because my daughter is ready to go to bed, and I have to drive home. So me and my cousin were hunting a property that he had gotten permission on, and we're sitting at the bottom of trees. We were I don't know, I was probably 20, 21, 22 years old, sitting at the bottom of a tree, and I started falling asleep, and I heard what sounded like somebody go like right in my ear. And I thought it was my cousin, so I wake up and I jump, and I'm looking around, nobody there.
Nobody's
So
home.
I was like, "What the heck, man?" Like, that was like, I heard that plain as day. Well, my cousin walks over, and he's just like, "Hey, man." He goes, "I had the weirdest thing happen to me." He goes, "I was laying," he said, I was sitting at the bottom of my tree," he said, "and I fell asleep." He said, "And I heard you hollering for me." He said, "Were you hollering for me?" And I was like, "No, I never said anything, dude. Like, we're a good 600 yards apart from each other." And I was like, "Dude, I never hollered anything." He's like, "Dude, I heard you loud as clear yelling, like yelling." And I was like, "No, dude, I wasn't saying nothing." And he's like, "Well, I came up." He said, "I just remembered that I heard the hollering." And I was like, "Well, let me tell you about my story." Well, come to find out, where we were hunting was an old Indian burial ground. We ended up stumbling upon the old tombstones from way back when. There was a lot of old mining and stuff there. So we just kind of chalked that down in the book as one of the creepiest hunts that we ever been on and let it roll. But I still to this day think something from the afterlife was talking to me on that hunt.
Way too ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. Like when he came up and said something, I was like, okay, that changes the game. Like that maybe it wasn't just in my head, like it's something else happened. But
Maybe not a coincidence.
right, exactly. Yeah, but
Alright, man.
those are my 2 favorites, or well, those are all my favorites and my one embarrassing hunt.
Well, I appreciate you joining. It's been a lot of fun learning about different aspects of Tennessee and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, for sure, anytime.
Alright, we'll have to stay in touch.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright, see you, buddy.
Alright, appreciate you, man.
Thanks again for joining us on another episode of A Hunter's Legacy. Remember, hunting isn't just about the harvest. It's about the journey and the legacy we all leave behind. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with all the other hunters in your life. And if you have a story to tell, we'd love to hear it, because every hunter has a legacy worth sharing.